Hey there, Scrap and Ames fans, how are we all? So I'm back with a bit of bonus video for you this week. This is a mixed media one that took me about a week to do, to be honest. So this first section here, I'm just using some normal, I think it's just the American Craft cardstock. I've gessoed it, and now I'm just going to create my background. Now I'm using, what am I doing here? So first technique I'm going to use is the smooshing technique, where you spray some ink spray. So this is the green, what colour? What's it called? Cut Grass Dilutions ink spray. And I'm just mushing it around on my page. Always worry that I can never do this packaging technique. It never seems to look as good as, you know, others do it. Anyway, so this one works out not too bad though. So I just smoosh it around. Now I've picked these colours, as you'll see, with the sort of the theme of the layout and the photos. I'm documenting a family day out that we had here at the Canberra Reptile Zoo one day, and just some funny photos and some photos from them. Yeah, so hence the green and, you know, all that sort of reptile-y kind of look. So I've added some ink splatters there that you can see. I didn't show that on film. I've just used the Heidi Swap Colour Shine. I think it's in the navy colour. Now I am going to use some texture paste here with my blue metallic gelato, dark blue, and I'm going to create more of a back. So I had to change the texture paste because when I opened the other one, it actually has gone yuck. Like, it had like this colour in it, like it was really weird. So I threw it out. But lucky I had some backup stock. So I'm sure you've seen me do this before, where you just put some texture paste through a stencil. Now I'm just choosing to use this little Kaiser Craft one. I've sort of just gone with that, yeah, that whole sort of outdoor colours, you know, like the blues and whatever, and a bit of a, not grungy theme, but, you know, I don't know how to explain it, boy kind of tough theme. So I'm just using some excess. I had some left over here of my stencil, and as usual, I'm just popping it in my art journal so it doesn't go to waste, and I'll come back to using that at some point in time when I want to use my art journal. Alright, so as usual, putting some excess into my art journal, and there's my finished product. So it's got a nice little fine bit of blue texture there, which I think adds a bit of fun to the page, actually, a bit of interest to the background. So those three little 6x6 paper pads, first and foremost, I decided to challenge myself with this one. I never use my 6x6 paper pads, and I think I've talked about this in a previous video. So with this one, my little challenge for myself was I had to use my 6x6 paper pads. So as you saw there, I had a couple there. I think there was one that was a Dear Lizzie one, and then the rest are all Amy Tan. So just sort of showing you the process I go through to find and give you a bit of a look, I guess, what's inside. I had pre-picked some that I wanted to use, and then I guess it was just a process of sorting through once I had a bit of an idea of how my background was going to work out, and yeah, going from there. I really liked that brown sort of coloured one there to the right with the spots, but in the end I don't actually think I used it in the layout. It just didn't quite fit once I got everything sort of going. I also think I challenged myself as such in this to try and use my diamond press die cutter machine thing in this one as well. I have these things sitting here and I never use them. Like I said, my 6x6 paper pad, I haven't touched the basket that's got them in it very much, and the other day I did and found that I had an unopened paper pad that I had bought and not actually used yet. So whoops, nice surprise for me, I guess, but yeah. Alright, so just going through, forming a bit of a photo mat here and some layers in the background. That arrow paper, I went with that sort of rough edge by sort of just tearing it instead of, you know, a really neat sort of cut with scissors or your cutter. Again, it's just because the theme of the photos are, as I said, there's reptiles and dinosaurs and all those sorts of things. So it's rough, it's outdoors, it's, you know, masculine-y kind of layout, I guess you could say. Now this is going into our family album, and in actually saying that, I actually had printed off 50 million of their photos. That's a bit excessive for this layout. So I have two 12x12 layouts now for this, as well as a Project Life spread. I don't even know if the Project Life spread's double page. I think it is as well. So there was a few photos in it. And those that watch me, are subscribed to my channel and watch me religiously, will see that my project life spreads can actually be quite photo heavy. So that might give you a bit of an idea of how many photos were actually in there. So just trying to make some of my own sort of embellishments as well using those paper pads. So I just used my little heart punch there to punch out some hearts or circles, whichever one it was. And then I go from there. Now I did save you the time of watching me punch those out. I just wanted to show you the initial process I was going through. Now I decided to, that blue piece of 6x6 piece pattern paper actually says wild ride or enjoy the ride or something. And it's got a picture of a bike, but nonetheless, I thought it was great for these photos because there's one with the kids climbing on the big lizard thing out in the yard, and then there's one of me sort of climbing on a triceratops statue. So yeah, thought it was perfect, hence why I wanted to use it. And another reason why I actually cut down that other photo so you could actually see it a little bit. So just trying my hand, doing some funky different things with this layout. As you can see, I got that angled bit of paper. The colours are all sort of bright and a bit different to each other, so they're not all sort of tones of blue and green. As you can see there's some pops of like that pale pink. Whilst it has the green leaves on it, it's still got that main colour is pink. And shock horror, another 12 by 12 that I haven't mounted the photos on craft foam. I don't know what's going on with me, but I've actually done a few layouts at the moment that I haven't used the craft foam for. Whether that's I don't know why. It's just me trying out something different, I guess. Sort of went through a phase where all 12 by 12 layouts were mounted on craft foam. I can't even talk today. Oh, look, I tell a lie. I ended up changing my mind. I did put it on craft foam. I thought I left them flat. My bad. So I hope everyone's been enjoying my new series, the art journal one. So Arty Fun Friday, Challenge Tuesday, and my plan with aims on the weekend. I mean, they've only just sort of kept them up going the second week, which is good. And I do, as I said, I do hope you're enjoying them. If you've got anything you want to see or feedback, blah, 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 just leave me a comment. If you want to see some other sort of fun bits and pieces, jump over and check me out on Instagram. My name over there is just scrapping _aims, and I've got my blog as well, which is www.scrappingaims.wordpress.com.au, I think it is. So yeah. Now, just to add a different sort of, I don't know, texture kind of look to the page, I've actually gone to use these leaves I've had lying around. I had them in my stash, not brought just for randomly. They were brought for my sister's baby shower, and I had some left over from the decorations and stuff I made for that. So I just said I'll keep them for my stash, and here we go. Thought they were really cool. Again, different tones of green, different shapes, different texture. Just to add something, I thought, a bit more visual interest to it all as well. They were really tricky to stick down. They wouldn't stick with the craft glue too well. I think I actually had to go back and put some double-sided tape on. And I think when I used them initially for the baby shower stuff, I used hot glue, and that worked like a charm. But I only used the hot glue then because I was being stuck to some glass jars. So yeah, but they're sticking now, and that's with the double-sided tape. So it worked. That'll do. It was just a bit annoying with the glue at first. And if I kept trying to, like, sort of sop up, I guess, the glue that was coming through of the leaves, and I kept moving it, and it was a nightmare. So I do, as I said, try a bit of DIY embellishing. So I've just, not a lot, I do just punch out these hearts and circles, as I said, using those pattern papers. And I'm just going to spread them around the page a little bit. What else do I add? I don't know how much I add. I think I went with the whole idea of, like, the background was really, like, there's 2 layers to the background, so I wanted to make sure, like, it's really busy. I don't know if I add too many embellishments, to be honest. I don't have it sitting in front of me, so whoops. I got really motivated yesterday and decided to put all my layouts away. Again, forgetting that I leave some out to do their voiceovers. No, I think I'm fighting. What am I fighting with? Oh, trying to get the tape off this little piece. Now, I didn't use any PVA glue actually on this to stick like those the photo mats down and layers and stuff. Usually I would use like a wet glue on the mixed media background, but I figured because it wasn't too heavy, like it wasn't big bulky texture paste, it wasn't lots of ink and things like that, it should have been fine. And so far so good. As I said, I put them away last night and nothing moved off the page, so woohoo, bonus, it worked. Now, those little things you can see on the side there are my dies for my diamond press. Now, if anyone's not familiar, I mean, the diamond press has been out for a good, would you say 2 years? I got it for Mother's Day, and I don't know if it was last year or the year before, actually. I think it was the year before, to be honest. Yeah. And I don't always use it as much as I probably should, and I did only go with the smaller one because I wasn't sure how much die cutting I'd use, and at the time didn't have a lot of space. I liked that it's little and it's portable. The only problem is not all dies fit in it, so I do have to keep an eye out if I want to buy some dies. You know, if I see some for sale, I'll check that the sizing is right. And a lot of the time it's not, so that does make it a little tricky. But then again, the company that makes the diamond press have their own dies as well out. That I used to get them from Spotlight. I'm not sure if Spotlight's carrying them anymore. They can be a bit on the expensive side, I think, but you know, I'm not a big die cutter and things like that, so I don't know how much they would normally be, I guess, with your other, you know, things like your Big Shot and things like that. But it works well, does the trick. As you can see, that's a bit of cork that I decided to use. Again, it just matches in with a bit of the tones of the browns and the ground and things of those photos. And again, it's kind of that outdoorsy, dinosaurs, all that sort of stuff. So I just figured it toned in well. Yeah. And just using an old, it only goes up to 2016. Oh my God, that's how old these photos are. Whoops. Roller date stamp. So it's an old Becky Higgins one. It's a bit of a shame, actually. I didn't really see many for 2017 or any that I really liked. And I thought some were that I did see were a bit expensive for me. I'm not a stamper either much, so yeah. Just adding a bit of bling. Just needed something, I think, on that cork just to pop it up a little bit, make it look a little bit less dull. I'm fighting with it to get it on the cork. I thought I was nearly finished. I guess I was wrong. Oh, there we go. So again, as I said, had a bit of a challenge. Paper pads and making some of my embellishments with my die machine here. I don't even know if you call it a machine. Would you call it a machine? I don't know. As you can see, it's all handwork. It's not sort of, I suppose the Big Shot, isn't it? Oh, we'll go with machine. Yeah, so my challenge was to try and use my diamond press a bit more. So I've got it. I did have it sitting on my desk, but it was taking up a bit of space with filming this week. So I've had to move it, but I must go back to it. The good thing when I brought the diamond press is their packs generally, or some of them, come with like that camera one there, that camera die I used. It also has a stamp that goes with it, so you can sort of stamp the image, then cut it out, which is really cool too. And that there was a bigger pack I used that have like circle shapes and hearts and little words. They're stamped as well. You've got stamps and the die cuts in them, so that's really cool as well. Now, I figured the camera here looked a bit blank for me, again, and because I didn't stamp it, which maybe I should have, I just needed something. So I'm just using some of these Amy Tan little word stickers. These are really old, so I can't tell, they're not in the packet anymore, so I can't really tell you, like, if they were from a collection or what they're called or anything. They're just little coloured word stickers. They came in a pack of with 3 or 4 different like colours and like 2 or 3, you know, copies of them. So yeah, I decided to put these down there just to, you know, get that camera looking a bit more brighter, I guess, and less sort of, yeah, boring. Adding some more rhinestones just to balance out from where I did the banner as well. Add them to the banner. I have really, I mean, apart from having nails, I have really unco fingers, so moving little things around can be quite the challenge, as I'm sure you've seen. And actually something else that I have skipped on a few of my 12 by 12 layouts as well is I've not put a title. I'm not really sure why. I just didn't put one in. It just didn't work. Just didn't need it, I guess. So just use one of these blue tags, which are from a cheapy shop, I think, if I look at them. Yeah, they are from a cheap, like our little $2 shops here in Australia. And they came with the little twine on it as well, and I just thought it went in really well. I liked how I just slid it in like that. It just sat in really nicely. And I guess if you look at it, when you see the close-ups at the end, it didn't really need a title. It's just a photo of us, and I've given some information about, or some journaling about what we're doing. So I guess that's all that you need. So, you know, I've heard people say before, you don't always have to have titles on your layouts. And I did go through a point where I was like, I have to have a title. And of late, I guess I just haven't needed it. Even with my Project Life spreads, they haven't necessarily had a title. They've got journaling, so you know what it's about. But, you know, sometimes I'm not very creative with my titles either. So, you know, can make it a bit of a challenge. Just adding some more of those phrase stickers. Now, these will be honest, I had a bit of trouble sticking. I did notice last night when I went to put it away, that top one did sort of pop off. So I had to get my tiny attacher and just sort of staple it on to stick it down. I think because of the texture of the leaf, it wouldn't... Oh no, I stapled it down here too. Well, there you go. I must have stapled it very well. The texture of the leaf sort of made adhering it a little tricky, I think. Ah, yes, so I'm doing that one as well. Yeah, so it must have been the case with most of the 3 of them, that they were a bit challenging to stick. And I think I'm just about done with this layout. I don't think I do a doodly border or anything like that. Get the mixed media. That could be just about it. Oh no, there's the tapping fingers. I'm thinking, what do I need? Oh, of course. So I add here some Heidi Shine, and you can see the little splatters there. Now I'm done. So at the end, I've got some close-ups coming up for you. Here they are. If you're a new subscriber or new watcher, hit subscribe. If you've got any questions, feedback, or anything like that, please leave them in the comments. It's always nice to see. And don't forget that thumbs up, guys, and I'll see you next time.